Uh. Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, JC, Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol, and now Proficient Academy, downtown Johnson City. Spreading love the Tri-City way is one way, but you know what? Spreading love is the only way through the Crown Cutz way. We got a banging episode today. We got my man. He's going to introduce himself in a second, but you know what? Our co-host with the most, my guy who had he had a heart attack when he came on the show.
I still can't stop thinking about it.
We're going to talk about it in a second.
I'm going to sit in George chair like this.
Introduce yourself, my guy.
Am I your barber? Am I your barber from Marion, Virginia?
Yes, sir. We're going to rock
it. Jordan Barr from Bristol, Tennessee. J Bob on Instagram. Nice to be here. Glad to be here with my guys today.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, Mondays is a special day. It's like a holiday. We coming on the podcast. Monday's big.
It's big.
And we got my special guest all the way from Philly. Yo, you know what? Did you watch
Delaware? Boy.
Delaware.
I'm from
Delaware. My bad. You know, Delaware, Philly, all y'all in the same area.
We not the same.
You're right. Let me ask you a question before you introduce yourself. You're a Sixers fan?
No, I don't. I'm not an athlete. I'm not a sports fan at all. I like individual players. I'm not a fanatic.
So you like Joel Embiid?
I don't like none of them.
Well, introduce yourself, my guy. Let's go. Let's rock it.
My name Craig Skills from Wilmington, Delaware. What's up?
No doubt. No doubt. We're gonna have a banging episode today. You know, we got this thing where we're doing like barber stories.
Okay.
And we do student stories at the same time. And I think it's important because it gets our audience out there to know about barbers, get to know about students, because everybody go through stuff a lot of times and people think they're the only ones who are going through it. And there's so many different stories and different ways how people get into this industry and why we get in this lovable industry of ours. And today, I'm gonna put you in the spot, Mr. C. You know what? Instantly, when I meet a brother with my name, right. I feel the love instantly, because it's not too often you meet a brother with a name Craig.
Right.
Another brother. You know what I'm saying? So instantly, we're going to talk about your story. But first off, remember the first day we met?
It was in New York.
A couple of years ago?
It was in New York. Yeah.
It was in New York. And we had a long conversation about, you was telling me about the show out there in Cali that most people don't know about. It's like almost like, and we're going to talk about that in a second, because barbers need to know about all these shows that's out there. They just think it's about the basic, the regular shows in the area. There's the Bronner Brothers, the show in Orlando. There's Connecticut Expo, but there's that major show out there in Cali that I guarantee you a lot of people don't even know about.
Because that's disrespect. Their OG barbers don't know either, and that's the disrespect. So you're really not an OG barber because you really don't know.
Right. You know, but it's all love. We're gonna get the people out there know about the show now, and hopefully people will jump out there and get to it. But Mr. C, introduce yourself and tell us something about you, man. Just introduce yourself before we jump into this podcast.
I got a lot, but I'm gonna keep it short. I mean, I'm just Craig Skell from Wilmington, Delaware. As far as barber wise, I've been a barber since the late 80s. 89, 90, and I've been traveling, teaching for the last 25 years. I started in like 99 on the road teaching, and I've been competing since probably like 94. So I've been around for a long time. So most of the barber stars or the barber shows that y'all come accustomed to, I remember they just little young kid barbers traveling around with us. Now everybody's big dogs, but the information is getting twisted. And I understand it, but I always want to keep any barbers that I meet like yourself, Craig, I keep you grounded and let you know what's really the pressure of the barber game. And
that's important.
And it really is, because it's getting twisted to a weird space that it don't need to go. It just need to be all about hair and helping the youth. But now, when the money involved, everybody's tripping. But I understand that, though.
So, well, I appreciate it. And excuse me, I've been cutting hair for 4 years, so I respect brothers like you have been doing it before Instagram, before TikTok, before all this. So when you say twisted and about the youth, can you? I know we want to get into you. We want to talk about you, but will you go ahead and touch on that for us, please?
Well, for instance, let's take he brought up the barber shows. When I got in the game as an African American, the only show that we was privy to was the Bonner Brothers shows. At that time, was owned by a family of the Bonner family, all black show. So that's the show that we as African Americans drew to. And beknownst that, we didn't know about the IBS show. We didn't know about the premiere show. We didn't know about the Proud Lady in Chicago. We didn't know about the ice show in California, like he said. So then, as we start traveling, with my barber battle friend Nori West, when he used to cut, he started Major League Barber. He came and got me and said, "Yo, man, you used to battle so much. So I got this new thing, Major League Barber. Let's go on the road." So we took it on the road, and we took it on the road. We was going to all them shows, which some shows was dedicated to primarily Caucasians. So when we came in as African American group, it was a new bus. We don't work for a company. We was our own company as a barber group. So that was the first barber group of barbers outside the companies. You feel that? Wasn't nobody out there except us. So when we traveling around, we started learning the game. So as the game came, we started seeing the other shows, the big shows, which didn't have no African Americans. So now we're breaking a barrier. And this is 2000, 2005, 2004. We picking up barbers as we go. We traveling across. We teaching this country how to dye hair and how to curve, all of that stuff. All that swag that you see today, we was teaching that because didn't nobody know it. So we coming from the, this was the 2000s.
And this was in the 1960s. This was the 2000s.
And it's crazy because barbering has become so popular here, and it almost has like a modern, sexy look.
Yeah.
But all that stuff has been happening from way back in the early 2000s, and people are just starting to get into it. And I could just imagine, because myself, I didn't go to my first hair show until I think 2017. I didn't even know much about a hair show, but I wish I had like a barber community when back then of barbers I could get in touch with, just understand that, those things are important because it's brothers on the road who really uplifting and upholding this industry for all of us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who had laid the path. And that's the importance of brothers like yourself and Wines. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people thinking, man, it just happened. Barbering just became popular like the past 2 or 3 years, but it didn't.
No, it hasn't. And to my man's situation was when we start traveling, barbers coming. We threw the first barber battle at a show in New York, the IBS show. My friend was DJing at the time for Trey Songz. He came when Trey Songz was hot. He came to DJ. We brought everybody in. Tremendous show, right? Then after that, all the shows started picking up Nori as having a barber battle inside the show. Okay, being an entrepreneur like everybody is, people start seeing it. People start hanging with us. We didn't know. We thought they was hanging with us just to be down with us, but they was hanging to see what we was doing. Boom! Here comes another show. Somebody creates. I'm not gonna name no names. Somebody creates another show. Then somebody creates another show. So now we look up. We have barber shows. But in doing that, them guys, when I tell you the disrespect is, they telling the kids now. Let's go back to the kids. They're telling the kids, come to my show, which is a barber battle. Don't go to the shows where I learned from. Feel that? So the IBSs, the premieres, the Proud Ladies. Don't go to them shows. Come to the barber battles. So what's happening is, in as y'all barbers now are saying, I'm going to the barber show. Well, you take the battle out, ain't no show, because barbers don't go to classes. You understand what I'm saying? So you go to the cosmetology show, which them same barber owners learned from. They don't tell you go there because they don't want you to see the full game.
And that's important.
You see what I'm saying? So what I see, and Craig knows I talk about this everywhere I go to. And I tell them guys to their face, because they was my young bucks. Stop telling the kids, and I understand it's a money thing. Come to just your show. Go to everybody's show
Spread
first.
The love.
And then find out which show you want to stick to.
Because there's so much, so much out there.
There's so much out there.
But
and that's what's going on right now in the game.
But before we jump into it, right? So we have so much to talk about. But tell people what you're doing. Tell people about Iconic, because I think that's the most important thing.
Right, absolutely. Well, like I said, I was the vice president in Major League Barber when he first started out. I left. It wasn't no situation, but I left. I seen a lane, and that's when Juan met me when I was teach. I used to teach all the Major League Barber classes by myself. Juan met me when Nora asked him to come out, and then I just found the different lane in education. So when we broke away from Major League Barber, which was a hard split, because you're dealing with men with egos. So I took about 8 guys with me, and we started Iconic Barber. Iconic
Major
Barber was
brand.
basically started in 2010. Was basically all about educating barbers and teaching them the real game. Cross teaching with cosmetology. We had cosmetologists, so learn the cosmetology game and learn the barber game. They both coincide. So as we've been doing that, we just go around teaching classes at all the major shows. I don't want to teach at, and they ask me all the time, teach at a barber show, but I say, I want to teach everybody. I just don't want to just teach barbers, because women cut hair too. Cosmetologists cut hair. So that's what we do now. We just go around the country. We teach different styles of different cutting and techniques. Some techniques I hold back. I don't splurge too many techniques because I save for the next year to see how the industry is going. And that's all we do.
But the importance of what you said, and a lot of barbers kind of miss out on that important thing.
Right.
They just focus on the fade. They just focus on the fade, and there's so much more than the fade. So it's kind of like a breath of fresh air, and you say, hey, let's include the cosmetology too, because we want you to be, we want to teach you. We want to teach you and make you be a well-rounded barber.
Right.
We want to teach you how to dye hair, how to cut hair, not with shears, not just with clippers. We want you to be well-rounded. And it's important like that, because a lot of barbers, on our perspective, I'm an educator, Emma's an educator.
Right.
A lot of barbers are in school and they just want to focus on just the fade. And we're like,
but Craig, not to cut you off, but the fade is the 101 of barbering.
Yeah.
And I teach that class like crazy.
Right.
But I tell barbers, and Craig, you've been in my class, and people learn so much. A lot of barbers been cutting for decades. A lot of new barbers, they cannot write their fade down step by step. But then they could tell you they got a dope fade. You don't, because without vocabulary, you have nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Without no vocabulary, you have nothing. So if you're an educator and you got a hot barber rocking fade, write your steps down. And I guarantee he probably won't do it. And if he do it, it's just going to be all over the place. So what barbers are doing today, they just repeating on what they see. They have no vocabulary to it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't call yourself an educator, and you really probably don't know how to really fade. You can't teach nobody how to fade.
Right.
I feel that, because I actually taught my first class last Tuesday, and I was explaining myself how I fade, and it was kind of difficult. It was kind of difficult. I try to, especially for when you're in school, you're kind of just like, when you're in school, you don't really understand where they're coming from until you actually get through it and you find out yourself. So it was very, very hard for me to explain myself, but I try my best. I feel like they got it pretty good, but I respect what you say about that, because that is very true, actually.
But that's your first time, though.
Yeah.
But just going out there and admitting to it that, hey, that's a flaw of mine, and to get better at it, that's showing that you invested in it.
Yeah, that's why I was so scared to start, because I want to educate, but I want people to actually pick up the educate, like what I'm trying to teach. I don't want to just be there just to show off my haircuts.
Right.
Like, I don't care, but I want people to actually look at me about, and I want to help people for real. I don't want to just be there just to show off my haircut. I don't care about that. I just want.
But it takes time, though. You have to jump in.
Yeah,
you're not going to be your best educator the first time you do it.
It's completely new.
Yeah.
And being an instructor is what helped me be a better barber, because when I went to the same situation that you did, because like I was trying to explain to people how to do things, and something as simple as like, okay, 1.5 guard. But I would say, when I'd say 1.5 would be 1 open, I would say 1.5, and just something small like that, being able to actually take a step back and explain it made me a better barber. And that's one thing that, some people say, oh, why you do that? Oh, I do it. That's just how I do it. You know what I'm saying? That's not teaching me anything.
I know. That's why I hate saying it. I'm like, why you do that? I'm like,
so this podcast is a Barber College podcast, because I think we need to start with the core, because a lot of people get it twisted and kind of miss the message when they're in school. And if you miss the message, you all the way twisted, you all the way messed up, because you're coming out with bad habits. So do you remember when you were in school, Craig, and how was that?
Well, I didn't go to school. I learned how to cut hair on a bootleg game in college. I was an art major in college. And
Right.
my best friend, which was not my best friend, my neighborhood friend was always the neighborhood barber, but we played on the same football team, and he was 2 years ahead of me, but he cut hair. So he was so busy, and I needed a haircut bad in college. And he was like, we both was art majors, and he was like, I was in class, like, come on, man, cut my hair. You know, I was doing I need a haircut,
What school?
Delaware
school?
State.
Give the school
Delaware
a shout
State.
out.
Yeah. Black College. Dell State. So
I got
we
some
was
friends
on
at Dell State.
you know, at the time we number one football college in Black College. We just doing so much. I needed my haircut. So he was like in art class one day, and he was like, you probably could cut hair the way you like one of the best artists in class. You probably can cut hair. I said, for real? Is that easy? He said, yeah. So he took me in, so now, but I still just wanted my haircut. So he took me in the bathroom and said, you're gonna cut your own hair. So he told me, I still teach cats today how he taught me, step by step. And he just, one day we went in there, he just did one step, and then that was it. Then he cut my hair. Then he said, next week, come back. And each step of the fade, he did one by one until I finished the whole head. It wasn't like just, okay, hit this and cut it. It just hold the clippers.
It's a process.
One step, bong, around my head. That was it. Then he cut my hair. Then we went next week, we went to the next step. Then the next step. So it took me about a month to learn how to cut my hair at that time, which was a basic ball fade, but cut my hair at that time, one pair of clippers, and shape it up with one pair of clippers. So yeah, some of those days. So then then I got real good, and I took over the
Put it in the fridge to cool it down.
And that's when most of the barbers that cut in college, I think they come out to be all around barbers faster than the barber that go to school, only because when you in college cutting hair, you have men from every walks of life across the country. So every man has gonna say his style from his neighborhood. So you get to learn the styles from Atlanta, Chicago, Cali. You get to learn them styles. So when you come out of college, you know multiple styles. If you in school just as Atlanta, you just know the Atlanta style. You understand what I'm saying? You don't, then when somebody from New York come down, they be like, no, we don't wear it like that. You don't understand that vocabulary.
Right.
So now you end up messing him up or doing what you think he want done. You understand what I'm saying? So them college barbers just be more all around. Then I had the football team. So I got 100-something players I was cutting all the whole time.
Oh man, did you have time for class?
I didn't go to class. You know what I'm saying? I was an art major, so we was on the road so much. I never really went to class like that. I was just cutting hair all day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was cutting the whole campus, and the teachers, the administrators, everybody was coming. So that's when I knew that I was in college. This is what I was supposed to get done. Yeah, that's what I was supposed to do. But I still was playing football.
No doubt. What was the process like of getting your license? Well, it was an apprenticeship.
I did apprenticeship. What happened was I was so popular in cutting hair. Remember at the time, barbers have egos, and this was a space where barber schools was only 1 or 2 barber schools.
Barbers had egos back then?
It was worse.
Barbers got egos?
Nah, I think it's worse now. But wouldn't nobody nobody understand. It was still fresh to do an apprenticeship. A lot of barbers didn't understand that game as they do today. So it was, and then a lot of barbers don't have their license like they say they do. Back then, even today. So I found the elder barber that was retired, and I went under his license and got my apprenticeship.
And that was in Delaware?
That was in Delaware, that was in Delaware.
So what was the process like? Was it like a 2-year process, a year process?
It's a 1.5 process. 1.5 process.
And what was the teaching like?
The teaching was nothing. Craig, I keep 100. I tell all the stories. I don't make nothing up. The teaching was bootleg. It was like, look, he was a retired guy. So I'm gonna hit you off with some money so you can sign the paperwork. And then I signed my own paperwork and signed my hours. I read the rules and said, look, it said you only can do amount of hours at this time. I wrote down it like I was in school. He was writing down the hours. With every week I'd use a different pen. I wrote the hours down. I was hitting him off with $100 every time he signed
different pen.
Yeah.
Same
and
color, just different pens.
After that, I went and put the hours in when it was up. They said, okay, you finished. Now I got to take the test. Now I got to find somebody to teach me the test. Luckily, I knew other barbers that worked with me and rocked it and said, look, this is what you need to do on test. You need to do. I already knew how to cut, but I just needed to know how to really pass the test, the theory. So luckily I was on the road. I was started early on the road. I met the owner of my lady back then. one of the owners. So they told me that's when they came up with the CD.
Mhm.
It was it's called the disc, and it teaches you how to study for the test. So I had grabbed that and I kept it
Right.
moving. So that's my story. So I don't really want to falsify nothing. Say I went to school and all that crap. Half of jokers don't go to school, dog. They probably went through that same process.
It doesn't seem like back then there was that many schools.
Right.
Like most
It
people
wasn't,
did
yeah.
apprenticeships. That's what, you know.
That's
But
if
it
the
was
barber
still
would let them do it.
But it was still a learning process because
Yeah.
from where you are today, from when you started, you had to learn.
Yeah.
You had to grasp some type of. So you did go through an educational
Yeah, the
process.
shows help me out because when I'm at the show, and people think I don't. When I teach the show, they think I don't go to class. I go to a lot of people's classes and sit and watch.
Yes.
Visual is the most. I steal from everybody, and I tell young barbers all of that. Don't say I don't like how he cut. You don't know what you're going to see when you see that man cut, but you can steal and from it and create your own
It's
swag.
important that you
your
say
own
that
swag of
because there are a
cutting.
lot of barbers out there.
Yeah.
They'll make it seem like if you figure a way out, your way is wrong. And I'm telling, there's so many different styles. Nobody haircutting is wrong. If you can, if you can pick
Nobody's
it up
haircutting wrong.
and you can effectively get it done, you might do something that make it easier for someone else to cut hair.
And for me, when I was learning, I was around a bunch of different barbers, and I didn't necessarily cut like either one of them, but there was one thing that each one of them did individually. It might have been small that I picked up and I used to make what I do, you know, and it created my style in that way.
And so it's art, bro. That's what I'm saying. You can take it and you can just do your own thing. Like it's everything. Everybody has their own way of doing something, and the way like as long as you can get it the way you want it to look like, and your own type of way, and as long as you think it's good, that's what art is. I mean,
you're right.
Because it's ironic sometimes. So before I go to this point, a lot of barbers they can't use the shears.
Right.
So how'd you pick up learning with the shears?
Well, I got when I learned the shears. Remember this was back in VHS game, so it wasn't all the visuals wasn't out. So I was at I went to my first show. I had a VHS tape of he used to be the head instructor for what's that company that Oster uses. Well, he was a head Caucasian guy, head instructor. He had a CD on a VHS tape on shear cutting. You know what I'm saying? So I grabbed that, put on my VHS, and just watched him in techniques. And then I bought, magazines was big back then. They had magazines that showed you step by step with pictures and the picture of the shears on how to cut from the UK style barbers. So I brought those. I still have those today. So it shows you how to pull a hair, which angle go, and it shows you how little small shears to show you how to cut on the angle. So that's how I practice.
Man, that's
crazy.
That's I mean, that's sharp though, because just that skill of picking it up like that, that's something that's magnificent because it's hard to do. Nevertheless, some people they want somebody to hold their hands and show them, but you actually just watching a sheet of paper and not having no instructions and picking it up to get to where you are. That's a lot of skills in itself.
It takes time.
But that just shows your hand-eye coordination because you're an artist.
Your art, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So from being in college, being an art major, that helped you to kind of pick that stuff up a little. You didn't probably realize how good you are with just hand-eye coordination.
It definitely was. It definitely was. But like I said, all my barbers around me, those books, and even today I tell cats when I'm in class, I say, if you don't got mannequins around you, you don't practice. So, I don't understand that. But, I keep people come to my shop. It's a mannequin right by my station that I'm working on at night.
Continuously learning, continuously growing.
Absolutely. Keep your hand fresh and your eyes fresh.
And the information's out there, and it just shows you. I mean, you had to go get a VHS set or a magazine, and now you got the World Wide Web.
Absolutely.
I mean, you really have no excuse nowadays not to be able to perform certain techniques.
Filming all day.
and it's just, and I think it's either a level of ego or complacency that keeps people from continuing to grow.
I use my client.
Yeah, they don't. Y'all hear that? They don't. Cats just don't watch cats. But like I said, there's so much. When they go to them competitions, man, it's so a mess. It's because don't nobody take at the barber battles, nobody take classes. But at the cosmetology shows, they take.
Don't
classes.
Get lost in the sauce. When you go to a competition, take some classes. Take some classes.
But they not going. That's the hardest thing for them shows to get off is the classes. That's why now they saying the doors don't open up till the classes in.
Right.
But still, they just there just to take a picture of their barber, which is they think is famous, and get his picture, but they not really learning nothing.
And a lot of them famous barbers, they don't even come down. The ones who claim to say they're fans, they don't show no love. And the barber industry is about showing love. You know what I'm saying?
Did you say they don't show love? I show love.
I mean, I'm talking about a lot of barbers. But you show love. We show love. But some barbers, they walk high and mighty, like they walking in high.
But I was there though.
They walking like in 10-inch heels around the shows. You know what I'm saying?
I was there. And I shut them down when I see it. I shut that down quick.
Oh yeah, quick.
So what's the evolution of the competition from the 90s on to now? I mean, from what I can tell, there's a lot of color, a lot more design work. Is that still consistent with how it was?
The competitions when I was competing and Nori for Major League Barbers back in the day was harder then. Reason why I say it was harder today, you just go to a show, they put a table up, you bring your model in that you've been cutting for years, and you recutting. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we was in the barber battle, it wasn't that. It wasn't just come to the show and cut. It was more of a show. So you had to put on a performance along with your haircut. So now that barber was doing 5, maybe 6, maybe 10 haircuts. And then them 10, you had to dress them up. Then you might have to dance out there to put on the show. You see what I'm saying? So it was a real show. So you don't get those at the barber battles. You get just sit at the table and cut your guy. So it was more harder then. So today, the biggest barber battle that I ever judged ever, and it's still the biggest battle, is the Puerto Rican show. And the guys that throw the Puerto Rican show, all everybody's talking about, it was 100 barbers in this battle. 100. So that means it was 100 guys sitting down and 100 guys cut. That's 200 men. You feel that in the haircut? So in the haircut was ball fade.
And you're only picking 3.
You're only picking 3. But it's ball fade, but they eliminated by saying if your fade didn't start an inch above the ear, you automatically out.
Ooh,
feel that?
Dang.
So to me, and I was the American judge. Still, you have never seen a barber or heard a barber battle with 100 barbers in it. Because the people that's throwing it never seen that one and don't know how to do the scoring, which they had a dope scoring system to eliminate guys. And at the end of the day, which I know behind the scenes, barbers are paying the judges to get their guy to win at every battle.
You said paying,
and it's gonna happen battles that's coming up.
You said paying the judges.
The guy to pay. They paying the judges or they paying the owner. I'm cool with you. I'll link you. I do something on the back end, make my guy win. It's still happening at every
That's
show.
crazy.
The only show that don't happen is that show in California. Because
I feel like I've seen it before. I watched
the one I told you about in California, because you send your pictures in, you don't know who judging.
Right. That's crazy.
So how does the judging work? Do you just base it off what you see, or is it like actually
on what?
Like on a haircut, like if you're judging somebody's haircut? Like
it depends on whoever throwing the show, what he thinks he want the category to win. But remember, guys, I tell y'all, when we started that Major League Barbers, we used a form. Guys changed it, but it's still using the same concept. Everybody's concept to me is dumb, because you're getting barbers that the judge that never been in competition herself, just because their Instagram is up, so they don't even know what to see. And then you know what the people that's throwing it just said, grade him on this, and that, and boom, and it is what it is. Wow. That's why I don't like none of them barber battles. I tell them, shut them all down. The only battle is the one in California is the best.
Right. So what was the most difficult part of this journey? Because you started cutting like in about like 2000 what?
Now I've been cutting. I've been on the road for 2000, traveling, teaching on the road since 2000. Yeah.
So what's the most difficult part of this journey when you started cutting?
Starting cutting hair or just teaching?
Just both, because there was a transition from cutting
the biggest mountaintop.
When I was cutting hair, when I first got my shop early. I got my first shop in 94, 95. My first shop. And then I've been a shop owner ever since. So I opened up 4 different locations. So that was in one. I'm in that space. Then when I started getting on the difficult thing about that space is learning how to fire barbers. And I tell barbers that all the time, because the majority of the guys when you hire, you already know them. So you don't want to mess up a friend relationship in the business situation. So you gotta, as a boss, you gotta be able to fire barbers. And that hurts. It depends on the community that you in. It hurts because he's gonna talk about you outside. So it is what it is. It's part of the game. Yeah. The second part,
that's
teaching,
part of it. Let's
again,
chalk it up.
goes
That's
back
part of it.
to teaching bad bringing barbers around you that are big time barbers and seeing their bad habits, and then being the man to tell them. Most people just say you dope or you good, you good, you good. Now, it's only one barber that all y'all know that he hates when I come around, and it's my boy. It's my we blood brothers, my boy. But I seen him come up. But in New York, you didn't know. I stood by the Andy's booth and watched somebody cut. Do you know who I was watching cut?
Right.
Who I was watching?
Yeah.
I was watching Kenny
They're
cut.
from Jersey.
Kenny, my boy, we've been friends for years since he started cutting it. So Kenny cutting at the Andy's booth. Kenny Duncan cutting at the Andy's booth. So he cutting hair.
Duncan.
And the model, I knew the model. The model was a barber from Philly. And I was shocked that he was in Kenny's chair. So Kenny asked him to come cut his hair. So now I'm watching. Kenny gets done and turns around and says, "Okay, what you got to say?" I said, "Well, I ain't got nothing to say." He said, "You never stand and watch nobody cut all the way through. I know you got something to say." I said, "Brother, you asked me for a t-shirt. I'm here to give you the t-shirt. Right. I just waited till you got done." You know what I'm saying? But I know he was watching. And I was. Some things I don't agree with what he was doing, and I understand it. But
which is good.
That's the difference. A lot of barbers can't do that to Kenny because they look at him on this platform right here. So,
but you got to respect someone who wants to tell you got a boog on your nose.
Yeah,
pick that.
No doubt.
Get that.
Yeah, I had to pick mine. Yeah. You got to respect them like that. Yeah.
You got to. You don't want to. If I got a boog on my nose, you gotta let me know.
Yeah,
help me grow.
I love constructive, constructive criticism?
Yeah.
People that are able to take constructive criticism are the ones that actually end up growing up to being some of the best.
But that's how we all got good. We always on each other like that. We always, back then when we all came out, we always on each other like that just to be extra tight and flow. Social media made everybody not have criticism, like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the shows, I peep out all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? When I go around to them shows, it's just some.
I think social media has made people more sensitive.
Absolutely,
you just want to reach out and share something, and people take it offensively and want to get upset about it. But realistically, I know for a fact I haven't gotten to a place in my career, educationally, barbering, management wise, running a business wise, that I can't accept criticism because I know I'm not the best at anything.
And it's just the years. And I come around, you get some social media barber started, they fly into a city, he comes to be the bomb, and then he comes around us and we like, yo, you really, then we watch him cut. We like, you brushed the guy's fade off with a nail brush.
Come on, yeah.
So you from the rip, you nowhere near us. You're using a nail brush to brush the hair that you cut hair off the guy's head. You definitely didn't go to school.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So we peeping that out on the stage, but these are the guys that at the shows. There's no way in the world you're using a nail brush and brushing the guy's hair off, scratch his head up, man. I mean, so I in my class, I tell people all the time, if you go on the floor and you see that guy using a nail brush, just walk away. He probably don't got his license. He probably just up there for a social media.
He probably don't got his license.
Probably it's all kind of stages with barbers don't got no license, and that competition and judging don't got no license.
That's crazy.
That is.
So what do you feel like the biggest flaw in the perceived industry that we have now? I know most people look at the industry that we have through a phone screen, but what do you feel like the biggest flaw is now that we can improve on? And us having this podcast and educating students,
yes.
What do you feel like we can give to the students to have them focus on that might be smoke and mirrors to everybody else?
The more reps you get in, the better your skill is. You know what I'm saying? So I just think the way a lot of guys are not they're not practicing enough. You know they want to cut hair in the shop, then they go home. But they don't get on that mannequin and say, yo, today I really didn't do that style right. Let me see what I did wrong. And film yourself now today with your phone so you can see yourself cutting hair and film yourself or try some different techniques. But they don't do that.
And that's one of the biggest things. That's one of the biggest things I tell students, because I'm a school owner. I tell them all the time, start working on your strengths.
Yeah.
Work on your weakness. There should be no dead time while you're in school.
Not at all.
There should be no dead time while you're in school. While you're in school, pick up your mannequin. While you're in school, you master that straight razor shave, that hot towel. Work on that. Work on your consultation. Work on your communication skills. Role play a scenario with one of your classmates. Do something that's going to get you ahead, because you can't wait when you get out of school, once you graduate and say, I'm going to turn this light on and start.
Because you're going to go to, I tell barbers all the time, barbers want to work in my shop. And I'll be like, how long you been cutting hair? How many shops you been to? I said, go to 3 shops and then come back to me. You got to go to, because a boss or owner of a shop, you're going to go to 3 shops. The first shop you go to, you're not going to stay. Something going to happen, you're going to leave. Go to another one. The new barber always going to move around. No. So before you get into
what's going to happen, Jordan?
When you in school, you should go visit shops and hang in shops for a couple of hours just to see how the flow of the shop running. Because it's just because the shop is hot or the shop is popular, it might not be for you. Starting out, because you see is anybody helping? Is anybody passing clientele to the young barber? You know what I'm saying? Is if the barber that got all the clientele, is he saying, I'm booked, go to my young guy with confidence, not like a joke, like he gonna go mess you up. No, he could cut. Go to him.
Just being real.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if he do mess it up, I'll fix it.
Right.
Feel that? I'll fix it. So a lot of barber OGs per se don't have that in their bag still today. They don't got that in their bag.
But there's so many barbers out there hating on each other, which is kind of like and I hate that.
You think it's hate, or you think it's just everybody? So I guess this wants to be the barber star, which I don't know who the barber star is, but everybody wants to be a barber star.
But it is hate because you stepping on somebody else's toe, so yours could be highlighted. That's not. I mean, what kind of person?
That's true.
So it is hate.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is hate.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's happening. If that's the case, it's hate. I mean, it's hate all over the board. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You can see it. You can see it right on the people that gets hired to work at the shows, because now it's a split in the show I'm telling you guys about in California. So the barbers that go to that show don't go to no barber battles. And the ones that's at the barber battle don't know about that show. You know what they told me they told me and Juan one day. They said, "Oh man, here come them guys. Y'all done crossed over. Y'all be at the other show. Y'all get hired at the other show." So we'd be like, "Damn, you know, not the first." They said, "Not still crossing over." I said, "Nah, just elevate the game. It's another step we took and seeing another platform." So when guys geeking off of a barber show trophy, I shouldn't say his name, but last year somebody entered in a competition that I judged, the one in LA, and their company guy said, their company boss said, he told the company boss he wanted the judges of the competition. Well, he already won. I said, well, who said that? I seen his haircut. It wasn't that hot to me. And he was at the competition. This is a barber star. He was at this competition with his family. It's a tuxedo suit-up game, and he lost. Yeah, he lost. So then he lost to a Canadian barber that don't nobody know. So he came back, see me again, and said, "Oh, this guy.
Right.
Yeah, you made me lose. I didn't make you lose. You got to understand, this is the real game." You know what I'm saying? So if you come with just a dope shape up and spray dye, that's just one haircut. You did that haircut all 3. It's 3 pictures. So when we see all 3, that's the only thing you got in your arsenal. This guy had that and 2 other things in his package. You see what I'm saying? So he had a sheer cut and one in another cut in another. So he showed multiple skills. So at the barber battle, you get a one-dimensional barber. Over here, you get the whole package. That's why I like that competition. You get to see a whole package. You get to see, and your concept come out. So he was mad, but
and what's the name of the competition in California?
The show.
The competition is called Naha. The show is called Naha.
Yeah, spell that.
Naha. Yeah. It's NAHA. It's the you can go to probeauty.org is the ones that throw it.
Yep, and
and
you said it's the week before the some major award show out there, right? Or the same week of
well, it's usually the week before the one of them music awards, the Grammys or something. But this show, I know about it maybe about 8 years ago when I got involved and now became a judge. But this is the equivalent to the Grammys or the American Music Awards. The show is of the hair industry. They only have one male competition, which is the barber competition, the male. Now, this past year that came, it was only 6 barbers in the competition. So out of all the barbers across the country, all the battles, only 6 know about the big dog competition.
And it's important. It's a major competition. But most people think the biggest competition is the Connecticut Expo.
That's the barber competition.
Right.
This is what I'm saying, barber. You know what I'm saying? So once again, all them barbers in CT's battle, 1%, and that's Kenny, know about the other one.
Right.
Feel that? So now a joker like Kenny enter over here. You know what I'm saying? Who one? Roderick Samuels is a barber. He's over here. He don't go over here. Popular Nobody is over here. He don't go over here. Understand what I'm saying? So you got to ask yourself, why y'all two barbers are over at this competition and y'all don't come over here? Now, 2 years in a row, Popular Nobody and Roderick Samuels won Educator of the Year. So out of all the cosmetologists in the game, all the nail techs, these two brothers won Educator of the Year. They barbers in that competition, but they can't get hired to teach at the barber battles.
Wow.
Feel me?
That's crazy.
So that's the split I'm talking about. What's going on?
That's
You know what
crazy.
I'm saying? They're winning the biggest award that you could win in hair industry
Right.
for education, but they
you
won't
just-
hire them over here.
No love.
Is it hate or is it what is it?
Somebody passing some money to the table or something?
I don't know what it is. So once again, Jay started the Barber Grammys, but even that is I don't even know how the people get judged in that, because over in this game, them barbers not even over here. You see what I'm saying? And over here is
Right.
where have any of y'all heard of the wet brush? You
Yeah.
heard of the wet brush? The brush, you see it in all the stores called the wet brush.
Yeah.
That brush, like 6 years ago, won Brush of the Year. Feel that? Brush of the Year. So I didn't even know about a wet brush. 3 guys walked up on stage and we the owners of the wet brush. After that, it was in every store in America. Everywhere you go, you see a counter that says the wet brush. So over in this competition, you have the best shampoo, the best conditioner, the brush. This is like the Grammys. So the best colorist, the real color,
Right.
not spray on color. Best real color, the brush cut. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's
You gotta put some work in to get
enter
that
is
real
one
color.
thing, but I tell barbers all the time, just to go see that event, it'll change your whole hair industry. You'll come back home and say, I got to change everything. We're nowhere near what we should be at.
What I'm hearing is like, so correct me if I'm wrong, like the show that you're speaking of, that is the real industry. That is how the world perceives hair.
Yes.
And then you have these other shows which are specific to barbers, but these are only appealing to people that see barbers through like social media, Instagram type deals. The show that you're going to is you're presenting the barber game to the world.
The game.
You're showing it
Next
to the
level.
Yeah, this is what all the skills combined you got to represent. You know, you can't come out here half stepping doing a ball fade and that's it.
Not at all.
And I remember the first time you told me about it, and it just blew me away because I didn't know about it. I'm like, damn. He's like, man, your brother Craig, this is where it's at. You gotta go. I'm like, man, I'm going.
You gotta go see it. You gotta go see it 1 year, and then you go to like, you got barbers saying they making it $100 a cut. Over here, that's pennies, because over here you're going to meet a stylist or somebody that says my salon made $12 million last year. Feel that? So just by talking to that guy, how are you getting that done? You know what I'm saying? You can't talk to nobody over at the battles like that. They might be making maybe 150,000, maybe 200 if they lie on their taxes. But most barbers is gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? But over here, you're talking to millionaire stylists for real.
And that's what the game is. And people don't realize with the industry, $42 billion a year industry.
All day.
You know what I'm saying? But most barbers, and that's why I created this podcast. Just to kind of give some information. I let barbers know while they're in school. If you really start, this is a profitable career.
It's a serious game. If you take it, I tell the kids, the young kids, if you travel around, it might change your life. You might look at a difference. So you might be a barber, and then you go to one of the big dog events, you might become a cosmetologist. You might hold up. I want the money.
And
you know what I'm saying?
But you know what?
You might get into that game.
Most barbers who really make their money, they don't talk about themselves just being a barber. They talk about themselves being, I'm a hairstylist. I do it all.
Yeah, I do it all. And they don't. I come across so many barbers. Juan, we was in California. I said, Juan, there go his name is Ted Gibson, cosmetologist, black guy from Dallas, Texas. I said, there go, that's that dude, Ted Gibson. Let's go meet him. He's standing by himself. Now, usually this guy, you only can talk to his publicist first. You feel that? This is that big. He that big of a hairdresser. You talk to his publicist first. He was by himself. We went over to say what's up to him. So he said, yeah, I see y'all in the pamphlet all the time. Y'all them Barber iconic dudes. We said, yeah. So we chilled. We took a picture when he busted up. Then I said, I want to come see your salon in New York. He said, I closed it. I got a salon in California now. So when I looked up the salon in California, it says it's the first COVID-proof salon. Amazon built the salon for him.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, right, it's even crazy because he charged $2,500 a head. He $2,500.
And then barbers out here like, yeah, I'm 6-figure barber. That's a month for him.
Right, we're talking to him, and then he talking about he working 5 days a week. So even a conversation with him was money. You understand what I'm saying? But guys don't want to talk to him. They want to talk to the barber that says, I'm $100. You ain't no money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't get we all 100.
I got the best. I got the crispy fade. I got the best fade.
So it's different. It's level.
My lineup is
level, and they not dying. Most of them barbers that I know over there that's making $6,000 and $1,000 a year, they not using no airbrush, no dyeing, none of that. They just straight shear cutting hair. And they might be using what they call the machines. You know, we call them the clippers. They say I don't use the machines. You know what I'm saying?
Next level.
When you get to that, right? When you get to that game, you come back home. You can still be who you are today, but you taking it more serious and tightening up your game, even your station. Everything just going tighten different.
Listen to that. Taking it more serious, tighten up your game, tighten up your station. Your station gonna look different. Yeah. You're not gonna be a barber. You're not gonna be a barber that just collect clippers. Everything come out, I buy. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be that guy. You know what I'm saying? It's more than that. It's an experience.
Yeah. It's deep. I gotta tell y'all, if y'all ever get the chance, man, that whole show and how they put it on is an amazing thing. You just see the money. It's nothing but money. Everybody that you see on TV that does any star hair is at that event. That's the only one that they go to.
The funny thing is, after this podcast come out, because we broadcast around the country, around the world right now, top 25 podcasts, and this is going to open up some people's eyes.
Open my eyes. Yeah, my eyes is open.
I'm going.
I tell cats all the time. If after this, if you ask any barber, I ask somebody all the show, barber come up, yo, Craig, this the man. I say, you know about the Naha or Pro Beauty?
Nah.
They be like, nah. I'm like, well, you're not in the game. Even being a part of the Pro Beauty, right. They trying to get so many barbers into that industry because it's like a union for the hair industry. It's for individuals, only $50 for the year. And you get so much information, you know what I'm saying, done with that. Even if you're self-owning the shop or a school, in your shop, they have that, your insurance package and health package is already set up for the hair industry. All you got to do is ask for it.
Say that again. That's a gem right there.
So all they got, you say you own the shop, guys, you great started a shop. You need insurance from the shop. If you're a part of the Pro Beauty, you hit them, I need insurance for my shop. They'll ask you how much money you want to spend, how much you want. They already have it set up for the hair game. So you can't find the local insurance guy that don't know about the hair business. He just going to get your money, give you some blah, blah. But this is for the hair industry. They already have it.
That's crazy.
Pro Beauty.
Don't nobody know it exists.
Pro Beauty. Earn the crown right there. That's a gem.
All day.
And it's important because a lot of barbers quit and they lose interest because they don't dive deep into the nitty-gritty of our industry.
They don't.
And if you don't dive deep into the nitty-gritty of our industry, you don't see all the benefits there is to have.
Nope.
There's
But
so much.
But and I'm talking to you two guys on the couch. The barber battle, the guys that throw the barber battles, they know this stuff exists
because they want to tell them. That's crazy.
They want to come. They'll go to the show and find out some new swag that add at their show. So I told you from the start, a lot of the OGs is not helping like they can. They just they want to make the money to be the guys of themselves. I'm the one that go around. I tell you about any show in the hair game y'all want to go to, and let's rock it out.
Let's be real.
Yeah, I'm there.
And then you make your decision of where you want to go and be at.
You already changed my mind. Because I was watching the other day. I was looking the other day, and this kind of blew my mind. And I was looking, and it was Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise goes to the same salon in Beverly Hills and gets his hair cut. And I looked up how much it was for a cut there. And I'm like, man, what am I? I ain't met nobody yet at this point that charges like what this person's charging. And I see the cut. And I know I'm capable of performing this haircut. So there's a line. There's something was missing.
Exactly. Missing being in the circle. Once you get in that circle, everybody's celebrity stylist. Feel that? So saying you're a celebrity stylist, they just laugh at you. Well, we all are. And
Yeah.
We all are.
So what?
So I just talked to
Yeah, we
Rihanna
all
last
are.
night.
So,
She
you know,
drunk.
so that don't mean nothing. They go on skill. Let me see what your skill really like. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. So a lot of guys are painting on color. You see them at the barber battle, they paint on the color. And you be like, yeah, his color dope. Over there, they're gonna be like, you can't do real color. You can't do real color.
Yeah, mix
We ain't
it.
painting on.
Yeah, you gotta know your primary colors.
You can't. That's why you over here.
Right.
You feel me? You're not over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference.
What kind of advice would you give to students or people trying to get into this barbering industry?
Well, the best thing is keys to success. And the main thing, the first thing they should follow is follow the rules. Right? Please follow all the rules when you get in the game. Be responsible to yourself. Have respect for your fellow barbers or cosmetologists. You know what I'm saying? And define who you want to be in the game. You know what I'm saying? Who do you want to be in the industry, or as a hairdresser or a barber or a nail tech? And then you know, learn to say no. If somebody wants you to do something, say no. Don't be afraid, say no, and then just respect yourself at the end of the day. So my whole thing is to young barbers is, you know, follow the rules. There's so many people not following the rules of the hair industry. They just want to get to the A-list as quick as possible. But it's
Taking
rules.
shortcuts.
And you're gonna crash and burn. You're gonna crash and burn. So you won't sit up here like me with all the experience and for that short period of time and so many years. It didn't happen overnight.
It didn't, and you can't shortcut the process. You cannot I can't emphasize it enough while I'm in the school talking to students. Yeah. You've been to school 3 months and you want to be, I'm not learning. Yeah. You've been to school 6 weeks and you're like, my haircuts are not good. You just started cutting. You compare yourself to somebody who's been cutting hair for like 30 years and saying that my haircut doesn't compare to them.
Right.
You can't shortcut 5 years. You can't shortcut 10 years because you're going to learn something new in 15 years.
Yeah.
And as a student barber, or a new barber in this industry, 2-3 years, or maybe you can't shortcut it. There's so much to learn.
Because the hairstyles change every 5 years. The styles change every 5 years. So if you under the 5-year chain, the hairstyles is going on now. Another year they're going to change. They change every 5 years. So for barbers say, I've been cutting for 10 years, I already know where you at in the styles. You know what I'm saying? So now the styles that you think are new are not new. I'll be like, oh, that style came back with a different twist. I tell people that all the time. The guys want the nappy.
Right.
People don't even know. They're so disrespectful. Guys are dissing the sponge, the curly sponge, right? The guy that made that curly sponge is not even a barber. He from Dallas, Texas. His first sponge was called New Dread. When we was in Atlanta, he used to walk around and say, yo, brother, let me see you and curl his hair up, right? This was in the early 2000s, right? He got bootlegged so much, they don't even know he still exists. You understand what I'm saying? And Dallas, he the one created the sponge. You know what I'm saying? It's called New Drift. For once again, you got battles. They won't even invite him. Just invite him to speak about how did he. But even look what his business venture is. I started something in my house. I created it. I packaged it. I sold it and got bootleg. What's his story about? If you put him on the stage to the barbers on how to have a product. You know what I'm saying? Because all the barbers there uses his product.
Pay some homage.
Or have bought one time ago. So he told me one time, this when I knew the game was tricky. He said he tried to go on QVC. QVC said, we can't let you on because you only sell a certain kind of your product is only for African Americans' hair. So QVC is the world. So we can't put you on QVC. Feel that? So when I see people at events now, they come up with their barber package, and I see how it's packaged. I say that package is to this or to that. It's not for the world. Feel me? Yeah. So you only sell it to your demographics, but wouldn't nobody tell you that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to learn. Mm-hmm. So package it where it looks like for everybody.
Not just for one.
Now you can make money for one community, but it's bigger when it's everybody.
And that's another gem right there. Package it for everybody.
Right. That same barber, and you see him at the barber time, you got to be like Amazon. Well, you're not like Amazon because you're not for everybody. Right. Amazon's for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You just for one demographic.
But that's important right there because there's so many different aspects of our industry. Yeah. You talked about the hair cutting. You talked about merchandising. Yeah. You talked about the continuing education. Yeah. And you talked about the haircut. But some people just want to choose one and think they're going to grow.
And they not. You got to grow. Hey, Craig, your brothers, I know I'm going to ask them a question.
Go ahead.
Do you got the sheer bracelet?
No, I do not.
The shear bracelet.
I know you're talking about.
Is that the thing where you get a bracelet and they put your shears on? So we don't have to
the
go
shear
back.
bracelet. This right here. You got one of these?
Yeah.
No, sir.
No.
You ever
I've seen
one of
that,
these?
but I don't have one.
You seen it?
Yeah.
The guy, hey Craig, next time you at the show, I'm gonna walk you over to the guy that made this. He's at every show.
Okay.
He sells shears. So we was in Las Vegas. This is how gangster we was back in the day. No other barbers from back era would tell this truth. I'm gonna keep 100 with y'all. So we at the show, we getting set up. I was with Major League Barber. I'm walking around the floor before the floor's open. He has, yo, barber guys, come here. This why I just created this new shear bracelet. It was $80, right? So he said, how many of y'all want one? I said, that's nice. How many of y'all want one? I said, well, it's like 12 of us over there. You got to give us a discount, though. So he sold it to us for $50, all right? So we got it. So we being hood slick. So we like, man, this bracelet is nice. So we going to Atlanta in like 4 months. So we had an Arab that did some stuff for us. So we said, we're going to send it to the Arab. We're going to bootleg him. We sent it to the Arab. He made it for us, put them in black bags. We took it to Atlanta. We were selling them for $50. We bootlegged him. Then now everybody bootlegged him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's $5, $1 all across the world. You see what I'm saying? So his story is unique because now he got a razor bracelet that he showed us the design, but he said, I'll never bring it out because the bootleg game is too heavy. He has a story. So when I go to the shows and see everybody with the shear bracelet on, I'll be like, damn, I remember when we bootlegged that guy. You feel me? So now
that is raw. Yeah.
Like we bootlegged him then. How many people are bootlegging people at the show you go to now? When they see something, they're gonna bootleg. Right. That's the industry that you in, and it happens. So it's part of it. But it's a story that I tell to let people know that watch your product when you go out, or don't tell everybody everything because the bootleg game is.
How do you prevent that? Is there a patent you got to get, or how do you avoid?
You got to get a patent, but you're dealing with barbers, you're dealing with young men that's creating something. They want to get it out so fast. Now you got social media, not knowing a smart person is going to bootleg it. Even feel this, Craig. Even barber names has gotten stolen.
I see a lot of it.
It's barber company names that have gotten stolen. That's popular today. That I was a privy to that was in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Have gotten stolen. It's people names on. If you see in the rap game or drug dealers, show us paperwork. We can show some people's paperwork now about stealing names.
Yeah, you don't want to crush no egos.
But we don't want to crush people's events.
Wow.
So that. Yeah, we don't crush no ego. So it's some. So that's why when Craig be with me at the show, you see certain barbers come up to me. It's almost like they like Skills. What's up? I said, what's up? It's you feel that it's not tension.
The hair stand up on the skin. The hair stand up.
Oh man, you know.
There. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, man, you're not real. You know, you and I get on when you don't cheat. You tell the kids the wrong thing.
Be all the way
tell
100.
them the real. Because when they know the real, they be all the way 100. They can learn from the real. So a barber might hear me say, I didn't go to school. He like, well, I didn't.
It's important, and it's not knocking you.
Well, he did it.
Everybody can get it
it's
a
not
different
knocking
way.
you. Everybody got their,
you
got your lane. Everybody got the lane to come up in. The difference is what you're going to do in your lane. So I made my lane work for me. And I'm still on the road.
And stop you.
This is my favorite podcast I've ever done. This is my
Easy.
favorite podcast I've ever done. I feel like, and when I first saw you, I ain't gonna lie, I seen the glasses and I was thinking about Morpheus. And you are legit, you the Morpheus right now. You Morpheus. I feel like we done took a whole new trip, man. I feel like Neo.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, it goes down like Craig. It goes down like that a lot when a lot of people, some shows won't be on a I'll be on the stages sometimes speaking, but the people that know, like, yo, you get him on the stage, he gonna start spitting that stuff that no one wants to talk about. But that's what
you need to.
You need to,
because education changes situations.
It changes. It
gets you all the way right.
It gets and how the shows is moving. It's moving in the weird space. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like still doing the big shows because everybody's there. I had a barber. I was on a podcast and the barber said that was on the podcast with me. He said, I only go to one barber show. I said, cool. Cool. I only go to barber battles. I said, okay, cool. I'm down in Orlando, which Orlando coming up. I'm down there teaching. I see him walking around. So I called him. I said, yo, brother, you was on a podcast last week and said you don't come to these shows. He said, this is an international show. You feel me? You was a clown. So forever since then, he cannot say nothing to me because you just lied to the kids.
You lose respect.
So just because the show says international, that's not, what are you talking about?
It's still equivalent.
But you walking around learning, and then you go back to the barber battles to your class and say, and they think you
Don't go.
think you like expert. No, because he was at the show.
Like you done made, like you done made this up on your own.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's just so much. It's so much disrespect out there. But you, without the yin and the yang, I guess you do need it, and then you need guys like me that's gonna say, "Nah, man, he wrong."
You gotta be all
But
the way
it's only a
100.
few that can tell some of the barber jokers that think they stars that they wrong because everybody just scared or scared to mess up relationship. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I've been around too long.
I mean, but you got to, because if we don't, you'll have barbers thinking, people, especially coming into this industry, it's real easy. It's just going to happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. And people need to understand and hear that it takes time. It's a but you can do it. But you got to put in the work.
Put in the work. The styles has changed. The industry is growing even more has ever grown. But I think it's a haircut shift coming pretty soon. I just don't know what it is. But it's
I can feel it too.
It's a haircut shift coming. The style grade change. And it's gonna be a shift. Even the guys that joke, like guys was on everybody watched them cats, Gilly and Wallow. One of them got on there from Philly, and they said, "Yo, my son came home with a white chalk line, put a white chalk line on his head." Right?
Oh,
so
yeah, I seen
felt
that.
disrespected
He
because
said, I ain't never seen that.
He was from the era when they was doing it. So I commented and said, "Well, all y'all know, which don't nobody want to keep 100." I said it was a poster. It's one main barber supply store in Philly called Snyder's that everybody go to. Been there for years, right? So it was a poster in there in the 90s that Nori Barbershop did. Nori Barbershop was called Wild Styles. They created their own barber poster. In the barber poster, their shop was known for putting a white pencil all around the hairline. That's in 96.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? That's in 96. So now it's spun back. The kids in Philly today is putting a white outline. So for Gilly that's seen it in 96, he's seen it. You know what I'm saying? But it's clickbait game. I get it. You know what I'm saying? So the new barbers are saying, why y'all putting that white chalk line? I don't see nothing with it. If the kids want it, it's spun. Don't get mad you can't do it. It's spun back around. So my young kids see it, like, get it. But I remember them saying guys were putting dye in everybody's hair. Why y'all wearing dye? Now that same guy in male, he can't take the dye out. Beijing. He put it in every day. He got a dye station at his house. You know what I'm saying? So I see the evolution. Everything spins in a circle. Depends if you old enough to see it spin.
Don't lie to the kids.
And Craig, I was talking about that all the time. Are you going to spin when it spin? Or are you going to stay stuck?
That reminds me of a Jay-Z quote. We always quote Jay-Z on here. This reminds me of you. Right. Jay-Z, it's never let me down with Kanye West. He said, I've seen the Rovers pull up with ribbons. Right. I've seen them resold, repoed, and redriven. Yeah. So you've been there. You've seen the whole cycle.
No doubt. And it's spinning around. So I understand it and I get it. And there's more stuff coming. So, if even guys don't like to use the airbrush. That's what the barber said at the booth. He don't use the airbrush. I said, you tripping. You just don't know how. Or you don't got a good one. That's all that is. So you stuck in what you can rock a haircut with. You don't want to change.
Man, that's big. That's big. We've been rocking. We've been rocking today, man. We've been rocking.
Yeah. I want to keep going.
You good, bro.
So I mean, every good thing got to come in. But we got a couple more questions. We try to keep it about an hour. I think we over an hour right now. But
does anyone want to have a question for me before we roll?
Man, I could sit here and listen to you all day. I need a Craig Talk Saturday or something. So I need this game all the time. I feel this is one of the best podcasts I've been in. I appreciate you coming.
I appreciate it.
And especially you brothers has been doing it since before the internet. There was internet, but before social media. Yeah. Thank you for taking your time to share this with us and the people listening.
Yeah.
See, I had a bunch of questions, but we were talking. You was answering all the questions.
Yeah.
I
get. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. One thing I did, and the barber owner know this. I've been an owner in the shop for so long. I got away from knowing what the employees was looking for or wanted. So what I did was I went to a shop in New York, and I said, "Yo, I'm moving to New York. I want to work in your shop for 3 days." And I gave him three days money up for rent. So now I became an employee in a whole nother city, right? So he didn't even know what I was doing. So I didn't want to cut nobody. I just want to sit, because once you're an employee, you can sit and hear what the barber's talking about, the owner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I did that for 3 months, and I learned what my barbers might say about what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I took the TV show that everybody see when the owner go down to his businesses and find out what the employees do. I reversed
undercover boss.
Yeah. So sometimes some barber stars need to come back down. You feel that?
So,
Come back
so,
down
w-
and be a
so,
regular guy again.
so this leads to a question.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about the booth rent, and you going to hear what other barbers say. So you a shop
Right.
owner. Oh no, put yourself as a barber. You the barber, you the
Right.
shop owner. But you the barber, you having a meeting with the shop owner who is you. And you told the barber,
Oh Lord.
your booth rent is going from $600 to $1,200. How are you the barber taking it from you the owner?
I'll be like, some things got to change with you then. If you're gonna go up and rent, which is, do I pay for towels or do I pay for shampoo? My chair leaning.
I need a new chair. My chair leaning.
Things. Do we got a receptionist or we don't got a receptionist? Do I need to shut down my app and do the shop got their own app for all of us?
You getting Squire for us?
You see what I'm saying? And see, we brought up a name that you shouldn't even talk about, but Squire tripping.
Hey, I'm not affiliated. I just say we nonpartisan here. We just speak.
Real quick, if you don't got time, give me 2 seconds. The app game, right?
All right, go ahead.
When the apps first started, the app that first started it all is the app I use. All the app companies really got their concept from the app I use. Okay. Remember, everything run by algorithm. That's why the app I use them because it's not just dedicated for hair barbers. Okay. A Squire rep, I'll tell you my story. A Squire rep came to my shop. So, yeah, we do Squire, boom, 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 boom. I said, okay, cool, get back with me later. I was flying to a city. He seen me in the airport. He linking up with his Squire people. Because, when I'm dressed, so he's like, ain't you Craig Skills? I said, yeah, I'm Craig Skills. What's up? Yeah, I'm going to introduce your owner of Squire. I said, nah, I'm cool with my company. I don't want to go to nothing. Well, he said, well, it's black owned. I said, well, I'm definitely not using it now. He said, why? I said, because why would you even have to say it's black owned to do that? So now I'm a research guy. Now I got to research the company. Okay, yeah, they black owned. Okay, fine. Now we talk about battles. So it's only one big battle that's owned by African American, right? Okay, cool. But y'all black owned company, but y'all don't sponsor his battle. Feel that? We don't know. Why is that? Why you can sponsor anybody's battle, but if you're going to keep going around that you black owned, why are you not sponsoring his battle? So is it hate or what is it? You got the money. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the games that everybody's playing. So why would I come give your app when your algorithm, I'm going to be below the algorithm of the company I'm using now? Feel that? So that doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying? So now as the Squires going, they've been getting better and better building up the thing, but they still not bigger on the algorithm as the app I'm using. It's Mind Body. You know what I'm saying? I use every Mind Body has cosmetologists, barbers. They have everybody, sports venues, everybody. So now their algorithm hits higher. Feel that? Because they have so many different companies using the app. You see what I'm saying? So when you punch in my shop name, my name gonna come up first because I'm riding with their system. So the Squire guys are under me. So why would I be under when I'm already at the top when you on the website? So once again, it goes to you cats not research. They just doing what the other barber said to do. It's either Squire or it's either Cut app. All these little small apps that dedicate to barbers, but now barbers don't know how to create no names. So now you might have one of my barbers is named Var the Barber. So a guy, when he started working for me, guy punched his thing in his app. But it's 10 Var the Barbers. Because barbers don't know how to create a name. They either use the THE, THA, or IM. So no one's creating no name, but yet they say they branded. No, you're not. You're just doing what everybody else is doing. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have, I always tell my barbers, you need to get a barber name. Well, I don't know. It could be your real name, a la Kendrick Lamar. That's your real name.
Something different.
You don't got to be some made up name. Migos. It could be something that your family member call you. That might be your barber name because it's unique.
Something different.
You see what I'm saying? So cats is on the line. They always the barber or above the barber. It's kids game. And as you get older, it begins to be kid game.
Right.
And I tried to do that. Actually, one of my clients came up with my name. My name's Am I. So it's Hebrew, means my people.
Okay.
And I had something funny with it, am I something?
Yeah.
And then one of my clients, I was telling him about my barber name. He's like, why don't you just be Am I Your Barber? And I'm like, what? That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the one.
It took me the longest time, man.
For real?
For to find mine. Yeah, because every time when I come in, they're like, man, you found a barber name yet? I'm like, nah, because I don't want to have the same name as everybody else. So I was like, every time they come into the shop, they're like J Ba, J Ba, because J Ba is what they called me in high school. Instead, my name's Jordan Barr, so that's what my friend made. And it was like J Ba, J Ba, the J Baba, or something like that. I was like, all right, J Baba. So J Barber, like kind of like a barber, but it's just like it's just kind of like my own little thing. I guess people didn't really understand it until they actually thought about it.
And it takes and now you start out your brand. Now the difference is how you gonna make that name yours. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference. And that's your barber name on social media, not your regular family name. So that when you're on your social media page, that name associates with barbers, not associated with what I eat the dinner, what my kids do and all that. It's just hair game from the rip. And you'd be surprised when you split it, how your life moving a little bit better.
Yes,
you know
sir. Man, this was dope, man. This was wonderful. You know,
I
appreciate you. I know we had a little technical difficulties getting on, but that's part of it. But you know, everybody who comes on, right, they got to come on again because we try to keep the episodes going. We got 100 and close to like upwards 140 episodes right now, a little bit more. But now we just appreciate you coming on. You know what I mean? And before we leave, we're gonna talk about where we can find you, what shop you at, and where is somebody looking for you coming up in Delaware? Where can they find you?
My shop is in Wilmington, Delaware, downtown Wilmington. It's called Fat Cutz with a P, P-H-A-T, Fat Cutz Hairstyling. We have a website, fatcutzhair.com. I have a website, craigskills.com. Everything is Craig Skills. Skills is spelled with S-K-I-L-Z, one L and a Z.
And that's Facebook and IG?
Everything. Facebook, IG, Shorts, Twitter, YouTube, everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm just slow of putting stuff up. Guys get on me everywhere I go. They be like, well, you got the most stuff. You don't put nothing up. I said, I know, man.
Your life is content. Your whole life is content.
Oh, man. I got so much stuff. I'm putting nothing up.
And if somebody looking for you to come and do an education at a class, at a school, wherever,
just hit Juan. Juan handles all that. I put that in Juan's bag. That's my guy. He handles all that for us to come.
Y'all boys amazing, man. Y'all boys amazing because I watch y'all. Y'all boys amazing. It's it's a show. Like you said, it's a show. You gotta treat people to something, not just educate them. It's a show, and you up
and
on
everybody
that stage.
can't do that. Yeah, everybody can't do that, and that's people are scared of us when we come because our message is serious, and we have fun. We have a lot of different classes, and like I said, we'll it's not all about. We was there. We was there just to show you haircut and all that, but we very seldom do a live model in a class. We always do use a mannequin because we want people to know that we can cut any type of texture hair. That's why we use a mannequin. So what you're seeing the African American guys with usually a Caucasian mannequin upstairs, or maybe our African American mannequin upstairs, and we flip in different styles on that mannequin, so you might can see yourself. Because a lot of people and women, they don't cut African American. So when an African American barber on stage at a battle cutting African American, they say, "Well, that looks cute, but I don't got this class didn't help me at all because I don't got no African American. Can you do something different?" So that's when I found in the game, you gotta coming to you. You got to have the model for them that have their clientele.
And if somebody wants some,
that's a task.
And if somebody wants some iconic gear, where can they get it?
I'm kind of late. You gotta hit me on IG. I got this iconic gear. We got this, and we got the hats. You know what I'm saying? The only one got one now is at the show was Kenny and Jay. Jay seen me like, yo, I don't got nothing yet. So they the only two. Jay made the only two that grabbed something. I've been on them stuff for years. They've been on me.
I still got my large iconic shirt. I can't fit it, but I'm waiting for the double X. But you know what I'm saying?
I get when I go to Orlando. I'll be down there and
yes, sir.
I definitely bring the shirt to you.
We'll definitely. What's your lasting words for the people out there?
Oh,
your lasting words.
Look, just stay positive, man, and keep creating. And don't let nobody hold you back, man. And definitely, if you think this Joker gonna be your OG, you ask him for his resume because it might not be what you wanted to be. Might not be
what you got to say, JL. What you think about the podcast today?
Like Emma said, this is one of my favorite ones. This dude was spitting straight game, straight game.
And that's what it's about.
I mean, I respect you for being on here. I appreciate you so much. You're a dope person.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I hope to see you, meet you in person one day. So
yeah, absolutely, we'll get it done. Definitely.
And Mike, what's your lasting words on this podcast, brother?
Man, I felt like when basketball first started, we was doing layups, and this dude come in and do an alley oop, and I was like, it's done rock my whole world. So
Did you catch it?
Thank you again. No, I didn't catch it. He called it. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, y'all.
My
man.
guy,
Peace
Craig,
out.
appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Looking forward to seeing you again. We're gonna link up, and every time I'm around, you always feel a good vibe.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
We'll get next time we gotta go out to eat or something, man. We'll be good. I know you missed it last time, but this time we gonna go out to eat.
Y'all went to a different spot. Me and Thomas, we was doing something. But we'll catch up, you know.
I can put you into the see so you can grab some stuff off my laptop. I got a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? All right.
No doubt. Again, appreciate the love. We can talk forever because you know when you're a barber, this conversation go forever. But you know what I'm saying? All good things got to come to an end, and this is the end of our show. But again, appreciate you, Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, JC, and Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol. We enroll students the first Tuesday of every month, and now Proficient Nail Academy. We just opened the only nail academy, manicuring academy in the area within the probably 90-mile radius. We just opened that this past Saturday, me and my wife. So again, we're trying to tap into this industry, and we just love what we do. But again, spreading love, the Tri-City way is one way, but spreading love is the only way, the Crown Cutz way. And if you're someone trying to change careers, looking to get into the industry, check us out. Check this industry out because it's a wonderful place to start. It's a $42 billion industry yearly. Barbering, cosmetology, aesthetics, nails. And even if you want to get into a little bit of massage, it's a viable career. But if you're going to dive into it serious. Learn everything you can learn. Don't just corner yourself and just be a fader. Don't just corner yourself and be a share cutter. Don't just corner yourself and just be a colorist. Put yourself in that category where you can do all, where you can one day charge that premium price for that service because you can. Because everybody's looking for the experience. Everybody looking for the experience, and stop shortchanging yourself when you come into this industry and working on only your strength. Work on your weaknesses. There's plenty to work on, and it's not going to happen overnight. You can't shortcut the process. You can't be the best barber, the best stylist, the best manicurist, which you're going to be in 2 months when you just first. You're not going to be in 3 months. You're not going to be a year. You need some time in school. You need some time wherever you're getting it. If it's an apprenticeship, you need some time away from that in the shop, in that service industry to build yourself up to be the best you're going to be. It just takes time. And always educate yourself. Continual education is a must. When you go to these shows, like you said, don't just focus on the battles. Go to the classes. The classes are fun. It's informational. People spend time and years just perfecting their craft, and they want to share it. So it's kind of shameful sometimes. You go to some of these shows, and nobody in the classes. One or two people taking the classes. Man, them classes, the room should be filled up. Go to the classes, get educated. Them things are important. That's how we're going to keep pushing this industry to the next level. That's how you're going to be pushing your reputation to the next level. That's how you're going to be pushing your income to the next level. We got to do this. We got to. There's money out there to be had. Take advantage of it. This industry is love. But again, peace.